We've all done it. We know it's dangerous, but we do it anyway. We justify ourselves by saying, oh, it'll only be for just 1 second, but this is how that 1 second could turn out.
This new phone is awesome. It has made my life so much easier. You know, I get kind of bored when I'm driving and I need to know what's going on. So now, with this huge screen, a keyboard, and a ton of apps, I can get a text and write back right away, no problem. It's like I barely even have to look at it.
Texting and driving. You may just be sending a quick hello or saying, I'm on my way. Whatever the text may be, it is not worth losing your life over. Or someone else's for that matter. Texting can be extremely distracting. Phone usage comes in at the top of the list as being one of the most distractive things to a driver, according to writer Kieran Hopkins. It is the cause of many fatal accidents as well. Today we will learn about some of the outcomes of texting, and then we will discuss some of the solutions to prevent these outcomes from happening. First, let's begin with how texting while driving can take your own life. According to the National Women's Health Resource Center, there are 3 kinds of distractions. The first is visual, which is taking your eyes off the road. The second is manual, which is taking your hands off the wheel. And the third is cognitive, which is not thinking about your driving. Texting requires all 3 of those things. And with communication being so readily available at your fingertips, it is so easy to just pick up your phone and text while you're driving. You may have your eyes off the road for just 2 seconds, but those 2 seconds could be the end of your life. That one text you read or type could cause you to die. Is that worth losing your life over? Second, texting while driving could cause you to take the lives of your passengers. According to Boston Globe journalist Leon Nefa, the part of your brain that should tell you to not text and drive is currently being occupied by your driving. When you pick up the phone while you're driving, you're not only endangering your own life, but also the lives of your passengers. According to Delphia Ricks, Newsday.com journalist, teens that drink and drive, the amount of teens that drink and drive is far lower than teens that text and drive. And around 3,000 American teens die and 300,000 are injured from texting while driving. If you wreck while other people are in your vehicle and you survive and they don't, you will be responsible for their death. That is a possible murder charge hanging above your head. You wouldn't want to kill your best friend, would you? Texting while driving could cause you to do so if you were in a wreck. Then you would have to go through your whole life knowing that you killed your best friend. Every time you got into a vehicle, you would think about you picking up that phone, sending that one text that caused you to kill your best friend. No one wants to think about that for the rest of his or her life. Now we are at my third point of texting while driving can cause you to take the life of someone who shares the road. If you're texting while driving and you just so happen to swerve over into that lane for just a second, you could hit oncoming traffic and take their life as well as your own. Another instance could be just like in that video. A child could run out on the road to catch his or her ball, or children could be playing tag and run out on the road and you could, unfortunately, hit them. Just think about that for a moment. Imagine losing your child, your brother or sister. How would that make you feel? Terrible, right? Well, if you would just put that phone away while you're driving, you wouldn't have to worry about thinking about hitting a child because you weren't paying attention while driving. Now that we have talked about some of the outcomes, let's discuss some solutions to keep these outcomes from happening. First, we must subconsciously decide to not text and drive. The first step to solving a problem is realizing that there is a problem. We must recognize that texting while driving is extremely dangerous, and it could initially cause those detrimental effects. Once we realize how terrible texting and driving really is, then we'll be able to make ourselves stop texting and driving. Secondly, after we realize that there is a problem, we are on our way to stop texting and driving. We can begin to fix this problem by deciding to text and drive less. It is almost impossible to completely stop texting and driving all at once. So if you want to finally stop texting and driving, you must begin to do it less. If the text is not urgent, do not respond to that text. Finally, after we realize that there is a problem and begin to text less, we need to completely stop texting while driving. No text can be so important that it's worth losing your life. Turn your phone on silent once you enter the vehicle and turn the screen where you cannot see it, and so that you will not be able to know that you have a text and you won't want to respond to that text. If you're expecting an urgent text from someone, pull over and text him or her. Don't try to text and drive. Texting can wait. It is very easy to acknowledge the fact that texting and driving is extremely dangerous through my 3 examples of texting while driving can take your own life. It can take the lives of your passengers and also take the lives of those who share the road. But it can be stopped by realizing that there is a problem, texting and driving less, and completely stop texting and driving. After I've given you all of these facts, potential outcomes, and solutions, will you make the choice to not